to the Destiny Chat Show, the show where we talk about complex issues casually. Lovely to have you all here, and I take this opportunity to introduce Rutu Amalyar, India's leading holistic declutter coach, and the founder of Chatur Rani Academy. Welcome, Rutu. Yeah,
Thank you.
so let me also get Deepa Bala, our guest for today. And she is a child creative coach, and it's an absolute pleasure to have her for the Destiny Show.
Hello.
Destiny Chat Show, yes. And our main host for this show, Dr. Sam K. Pillai. He is the founder of Destiny Drivers, the soul prosperity teacher, and the director of the Science of Destiny Institute. A very warm welcome.
Thank you very, very much. You're so kind. Thank you. And it's awesome to have wonderful people to chat this wonderful evening, right? And we were talking about potential growth and, um, wisdom,
Creative.
knowledge, and understanding, and many things. And we have a child creativity coach with us who actually shapes the potential of young children. Okay, so let's first hear what potential is from her, and then we will take it on. So, well, Deepa, so share your thoughts about what potential is.
Uh, Thank you. Thanks a lot for having me at this Destiny Chat show. So, potential, I think every child is born with immense potential. The thing is, we don't value it, or we don't understand it, and we also don't respect it, because we
Hmm.
don't think of child. We think of child as something as a small thing and that can be ignored. You know, basically, I mean, as far as maybe we have definitely heard child is the father of the man, but we don't actually believe in it. So a child has so much of potential, it has so much of ideas, it is always brimming with questions, and it is so curious. It's actually at its peak. Children are at their peak with so much to bloom and grow, and we have our own issues, we have our own jobs, and we have our own work issues, and we are so much so into our own life that we don't realize, and we just hush and push them down, and we suppress their creativity. And this creativity is actually essential for their growth, whether it's play, or whether it's not doing anything, or whether it's climbing a tree, or whether it's just sitting down and exploring. They need that space. And as parents, we don't need to own them, we just need to be there with them and give them that space to grow, and just be around and help them. We don't need to push them and be overprotective and drive them into something saying this is it, this is it. So I feel that children have immense potential, but it requires a lot of appreciation and encouragement and acknowledging the fact that they have it.
Totally agree. Yes. Divya, I can't hear you.
Yes, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I was saying beautifully said, Deepa, and I think you beautifully brought out the possibilities, or let me rather say potential of a child, and what is possible if we give them the right space, and we let them be, right?
Let it, yeah.
And yeah, and I want to put that question to Rutu because she is a holistic declutter coach and she's taking care of a community of women, and she's a mother herself. And what are your thoughts, Rutu, around potential of a child, and maybe some thoughts on what Deepa just shared?
Yeah. So thank you so much for asking me. And here I, remember words, some few words from Sam. Dr. Sam is, um, every child has potential, and as a parent, we have that responsibility to just to facilitate them. So definitely, uh, you know, we should be the first person to see that potential in our children, because if we will not, then who will do? So that is the first thing. And definitely, to explore their potential. We should give them all kind of freedom and all kind of different exposures to all kind of different experiences, not to impose any kind of our own personal thing or perceptions on child, because sometimes we think that this is the right thing to do, but if we ask ourselves with 100% honesty, we are not even sure about our own self or our own questions. So to have that openness, to have that open mind is very very important. And what I teach in my community is, bring that uniqueness in whatever you do. So we are also child, as Dr. Sam always says that we are also child, right? So as an adult, this is completely applicable to ourselves also, to explore that potential, to bring out that uniqueness. And that uniqueness is possible through creativity. So I always say to my student that whenever whatever you are doing, for example, you are just cleaning the home, bring out your own uniqueness, bring out your own creativity in that task also, because everything is an art. If you are doing parenting, bring out your own uniqueness and own creative ideas to that also. So whatever we do, like making some dishes or doing any kind of work, allow yourself to express yourself completely, because that is who you truly are. And when we allow ourselves to be who we are, then we feel that alignment and connected with our own core. And that actually brings us very much closer to freedom, or I should say that we are already in that free state of our being. So this is so important, to allow ourselves to be creative and just without any kind of fear or judgment of what people will think, or is this right or wrong, because nothing is right, nothing is wrong, it's only the perception. So this is what I look at potential and through creativity.
Beautiful. Thank you for that, Ritu. And Dr. Sam, we are all very keen to hear from you your ideas on potential of children, and potential and creativity. Both Deepa and Rutu so beautifully explained their thoughts around potential and creativity. So let's be waiting to hear from you.
Wonderful, because the last week I was talking about what potential is, and potential has only one definition, and that is divine. Okay, potential is divine. Okay, which means it is creative. Why? Because it belongs to the creator. Okay, which means to say any creativity is actually divine manifestation of the potential, which is divine in itself. Okay, and we did also see there were three layers. One is knowledge, understanding, and wisdom in its whole operation. Knowledge is information, understanding is comprehension, and wisdom as application. Now, in the space of creativity, all these three things come in order. Okay, that is the best thing about uh, a child or anybody, because we all are children and we all continue to create. If anybody has to create anything, they need to think along with the thinker. Okay, because that is how everything is designed in the universe. Okay, that is how there is a divine order, right? And I always say this: every child is not the limitation of their parents. They're not the potential of the parents. Okay, no, they are divine potential, which means God saw you. He said, okay, it is your responsibility to raise my potential, as in like the divine potential that you find in the child. And there is one thing that needs to be watched, in handling the whole potential, because we all carry different potential, including children. Okay, and that is something called ideas. ideas. Okay. Now, before I expand on those ideas, I would love to share this second level of information, and then is comprehension, because that is the space where children occupy themselves the most, and that is the outcome of curiosity. Comprehension naturally happens at the space of curiosity. Okay, you go tell a child, don't put your hand there. In your absence, they will just go put their hand there.
True.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. You say, you don't touch this, this will hurt you. In your absence, the head is fully buzzing with an idea. Like, when mama is not there, when papa is not there, when do I get a chance to go put my hand on it? Okay. Curiosity. And what does that curiosity create is comprehension. Okay. They receive the information from papa or mama. Okay. But that curiosity keeps building on. The day we lose curiosity, we lose creativity. Okay. So the more curious we are, the more creative we are. Okay. Because every invention that you see on earth now gave birth to itself from that one word called idea. And the mother of idea was curiosity. We talk about 4G and 5G now. This is nothing but airwaves, okay? Bandwidth in the air. Was this during the times of my father? Yes. Was that air still there before, in the times of my grandfather? Yes. During the times of my great grandfather? Yes. It is all there, which means everything that man needs is there. And we have not come to an end of invention yet. As long as man breathes, as long as man operates the potential from a divine dimension with ideas and curiosity, he is always manifesting something unique by giving out information, knowledge, because we learn something new because of his curiosity and his comprehension. And all the inventions are applications. That's what even on the phone, you click on an icon and you call that an application, right? And it's functional, okay? Because everything that man can do is the outcome of potential, and everything man does carries its own potential. Absolutely. My internet was a little choppy, so although I didn't get to hear all of your views, okay, we will continue to expand on this because it is so important when we talk about potential and ideas. So share your thoughts about what ideas are so that we will take it on from there.
Okay, great. So maybe I'll take that question on about ideas, right?
Lovely.
And some I think that line that you said about the day we lose our curiosity, that day we lose our creativity was so brilliant. That was like a bulb on moment for me,
Truly
and it
agree.
made me,
Truly agree.
yeah, and it made me reflect. Where in my life have I stopped being curious, right? And suddenly, it made me aware that there is so much more. Uh, untapped potential in areas where I probably have stopped being curious,
Mm,
you know and I think sometimes what happens is, in the kind of like earlier when the conversation was going on and Deepa was sharing about children and how children get suppressed a lot, and Rutu was talking about being creative. One of the thoughts that came to my mind was in the growth mindset, about the fixed mindset and growth mindset. Fixed mindset is the idea that your capability, intelligence, your talent, etc., are fixed. that you're born with a certain amount and that's what it remains, right? And there was a particular study that was conducted where 1 to 4 year old children were given jigsaw puzzles to solve. And once they solved that puzzle, each child was given an option that they could either solve the same jigsaw puzzle all over again, or they could choose a harder one to solve. And what they found was quite a few of the children chose to go with the same jigsaw puzzle, and the others said that no, I want the one which is the tougher one. And some of the kids were quite curious and they asked the researchers that why would you even ask me such a question? Like, why would I want to do the same jigsaw puzzle over and over? Right? So, so what they figured was these were two mindsets in display, right? One where the child felt that I just want to do the same thing, right? So that there's a sense of comfort and I don't look like I'm not intelligent enough. And another where the child is wanting to explore and learn and try something new. And the thing is that all of us are born with a growth mindset, right? Where we are all curious, we want to learn, we want to grow. But very quickly, like even before you have turned 4, we are socialized into this mindset of wanting to fit in, right? Of forgetting about curiosity, and the focus is completely on how do I prove myself to be worthy? How do I prove myself to be intelligent, capable? And I mean, this is such a creativity killer, you know. So, Sam, actually, you asked me about ideas. I know what I said is not exactly related to ideas, but
But
uh,
what you're sharing is
yeah, somewhere.
valuable. Go on.
Yeah, so what I'm saying is, for you to have ideas in the first place, curiosity is required, you know, a sense of relaxation, like, where you're fully comfortable with who you are and you're not worrying about what others are thinking about you is so important, right? And if that is not there, then curiosity and ideas and creativity goes right out of the window, right? So,
Absolutely.
those are some thoughts that were going through my mind when you were sharing this.
Lovely. Share your thoughts, Deepa.
Thank
So,
Brilliant.
okay. So, as far as ideas are concerned, yeah, well, I think children are brimming with ideas. It's just that it's very nice. For example, I'll tell you a simple example. Uh, my niece is about 4, 5 years old, and we were traveling in a local train, So, as we were passing by, this the other train, the express trains which go across countries, it was passing by. The Rajdhani Express was passing by. And my niece said, Mama, see, she calls me Mama. She said, Mama, see, bathroom train. I was like, what?
Ah,
So I didn't understand. Initially I was like shocked what she said. Then I realized that she had differentiated the local train, which does not have a bathroom, and a long distance train, which has a bathroom. You know, it was such a
right.
simple idea, and I was zapped. So they have such simplification and ideas, which we in our daily, juggling work, we miss out these nuances.
Mm.
Like another kid, for example, one more. If I ask you, this kid had went to the restaurant for the first time, and he saw there was rasgulla on the table, and he asked daddy, "Ki tennis balls pani mein kyun hai?" you know, so
Super.
so I just think, I know, even if we are around them, we will be creative.
Absolutely.
Absolutely true. Hmm.
That's beautiful. Come on, Ruthu, share your thoughts as well.
So when that last thing that Deepa shared, I was just thinking about that. That definitely, if we just observe children, having that ideas, there is no filter in ideas. Like not even judging on ideas whether this is the potential idea or not potential idea. So many of the times, as human, we are just thinking about idea, and just judging them, or maybe just measuring them that this is the good idea or not good idea. And most of the time we are just behind that, all kind of using logic. And I think in that process definitely we lose that curiosity of
Hmm.
actually exploring that idea. So no idea is bad idea or good idea, but every idea has that potential to teach you something. So whether it can be a win, or maybe it can seem like we are losing something, but actually we are not losing anything. In that process also we are learning, few other things. So definitely, what I really feel is, go with the flow, allow all kind of ideas that is coming into the mind. And like a child, for example, if my son has that idea that what if I will make a mobile phone out of cardboard, and I will just take it uh, to the shower to just play with it. Okay, so there are two ways that I can also tell him that no, no, don't do that, otherwise it will get uh, of no use. And the second is let him explore his idea, and he will learn by by the process that okay, what is the outcome kind of thing. But as a children, they are not even thinking about the outcome. Definitely they will explore the things and they will learn through that process. So I think whether we are doing a business, if we are entrepreneur or whatever the things we are doing, this is the right way, that actually explore that idea and see the outcomes without even bothering of the outcome. Or sometimes we are so much of protective of ourselves as well as children also, that this thing can go wrong, that thing can go wrong. And it's like, most of the time we are just thinking about what can go wrong rather than thinking about what can go right. So this is how I look at ideas, that every idea has the potential to open new gates of wisdom and all kind of experiences. Yes, Dr. Sam.
Absolutely. I love this. Very beautifully said. You know,
Yes.
uh, when Divya shared this about growth mindset, how many of you have heard this word growth mindset? And we keep hearing this over and over again, correct? You should have a growth mindset. Growth mindset. Now, this word growth mindset is a myth in itself.
Yeah.
Seriously. Anything that has life in it should grow, and it will grow. Okay? Anything that has life in it will grow. And anything that is growing is measurable. Okay? And here is the beauty: excitement is only in the living, not in the dead. Okay, absolutely. All right. And when Deepa was sharing about her niece's observation about the train and the bathroom in the train and the one that did not have one, curiosity, ideas, potential, they all shape in a certain way, and they shape based on observations.
True.
Okay. Second, on interactions. You tell the child, don't go put your hand in the plug, or the plug hole, and they like to interact with it. Don't touch something. They like to interact with it. Okay. One is observation, second is interaction. We all do the same thing. That's how we also work. Okay. And the third thing is more interesting: when somebody says something right and you know that you were wrong, you're taken aback, and you reserve yourself and you're quiet. You will see this, when you correct a child. When you say something to a child, the child will not expect it. He'll be taken aback. And then you will find the child a little reserved, quiet. And that's time that we really don't disturb the child, because the child is in a space of contemplation. So, observation, interaction, and contemplation. Contemplation, the child now sits to reason. Is it right? Is it wrong? The reason behind this is much larger, and I will share you at the end. And the third is inspiration. The fourth is inspiration. So observation, interaction, contemplation, and inspiration. So when the child sees something, have you seen children wanting something? They desire it. Okay, they would like to be like you, or dress like you, or dress like somebody else. Okay, and there's a child in each one of us. Okay, we love to model somebody. Okay, because we observe, we like to create an interaction, we then contemplate, and then we are inspired. Okay, because ideas spring forth and form something called ideology. Okay, because it is the ideologies that, when Rutu shared, I like what she said about we look for the outcome. Okay, because every time there is curiosity, the outcome should actually be an invention. How many times have you found this? Okay, that we felt that we discovered something, we identified something, and you're so thrilled about it, and a little later you know that somebody else has already done this before. Okay. That-
So true.
okay,
Yeah.
because there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing. There is nothing new under the sun. Okay, but it has to be something that originates from you, not copy. Curiosity is not copy, because to copy kills potential, which means the real you is disappeared because it gets into a pattern. Okay, but there is something that goes into your observation, and then you begin to interact with it, you contemplate upon it, and there is a new inspiration that comes forth, the outcome like an invention. And when you put it out, and then you realize, oh, okay, so every time man lives, every single day is a new day for him. Correct? Tomorrow is a new day for you. Yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Every day is a new day. But that's not true. Every day is a continuity of the previous day. Correct? We spoke about this, that let me ask this question to Deepa. Okay. um, Deepa, tell me this: does the earth revolve around the sun, or the sun revolve around the earth?
The earth revolves around the sun.
Earth revolves around the sun. No, I have not seen that. I go out and I see the sun start from one end and the sun move around me.
Moving this east to west.
Yeah,
Yeah,
when,
yeah.
I go see, I see the sun move. I don't see the earth move. I stand at the same place, but only the sun moves.
Sure, I agree with you.
But
Yeah.
what you said is right. But what you said is right, which means to say, you know, I see something, but what I see need not have to be true. Okay? Because what you said is right. It is the earth that goes around the sun.
Or
But
maybe
when
like
I
speed is
see the
slow.
sun go around me.
So maybe if
Right?
the
And
earth
here is
moves
the beauty, which means to say, with observation and interaction, there builds contemplation and inspiration. And this can be right or wrong. This is where knowledge as information, understanding as comprehension, and wisdom as application comes into play, which means I could observe many things, but when I bring it to application, that application needs to be right. Okay? So, this is where ideologies are formed. Some people live with some observation, and I can create an ideology saying the sun moves, not the earth. And that ideology can be absolutely wrong, right? Which means ideologies, when they are formed, okay, it needs a lot of analysis, which means to say, we as parents are responsible to open the floodgates of applicable wisdom, which means even we open ourselves, find a coach, find a mentor, find a teacher, find some book to gather more information in the formation of every ideology. And now there is a beautiful ideology that forms, and every idea that springs out from that belief, springs out from that value. And instilling that belief and values is priority and so important as parents. If parents fail to do that, when you realize that you're going wrong somewhere, it's time that you go back into observation, begin your interaction, and then build some contemplation, look for inspiration, and build yourself. Yes. And here is the best thing, I don't even know if I'm live right now because I have nothing right in front of me. So, if you could
We
hear me,
we can
take
see
it on
you.
from
Yeah,
here
we
and
can see
then
you.
We can hear you.
We can see you and hear you, Dr. Sam.
lovely.
Yeah.
Go on. Take it from here.
Okay, awesome. Rutu, let's hear your thoughts on what Dr. Sam just shared.
Yeah, so I was just listening to him and processing the things that he has already thought.
Yeah.
So absolutely about what I love about that ideology.
Hmm.
So that I really love to know more about that from Dr. Sam. Can you just explain little bit with more examples, because that was the aha moment for me when he shared about ideology. Because ideology can be, what I understood is, it can be right also, it can be wrong also.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yes.
Absolutely. Now, in understanding ideology, okay, there is something that we need to understand fundamentally. The fundamental understanding in forming any ideology is that you do not have potential. Why? Because you are the potential.
Potential.
Okay? This is the most fundamental thing that we need to understand, that you do not have potential. You are the potential.
Beautiful. Yeah.
You are the potential. Okay? Which means to say potential is divine. So equate it. Which means every time you apply potential, you partner with a creator to co create something. Because potential itself is power within you. So if I say you are the potential, then I have to say you are the power, right? And these ideologies create over a period of time, especially in fact it all begins by the last trimester to the first 7 years of every child. Beliefs are instilled, values are instilled, and they keep hearing something over and over again. So this is where senses come into play. Okay, I'm not going to open up a lot on senses right now because everybody believes they have five senses. Okay, which is true to a certain extent. But ancient times, they were not five senses, they were nine senses. And all the nine is applicable even now. Okay, and this is something that I teach in my training programs. Very important stuff, because the five senses, okay, makes you make a connection to the world, interaction to the world, gives you a sense of observation and stuff like this. But the four that is not known to the outer world is the one that helps you create an ideology, that helps you shape your potential. And these four is not spoken openly. Okay?
Interesting.
Because all that we see is only on the surface. It's on the surface. Okay, and we will have a conversation about senses and all the nine different senses and how it interacts with man in forming his potential and dealing with his creativity that leads to his greatness is so important, and we will have a conversation on this. But holding on to ideologies, this is shaped by one of the sense, mostly is hearing. Whatever
Oh.
you believe, whatever you believe, okay, what is belief? Belief is nothing but mental acceptance of a thing, that you mentally accept this is right or wrong. Whatever you believe, okay, has these five senses in operation. You touch and believe, you smell and believe, you see and believe, and you hear and believe, you feel and believe. But what is the most important here than sight, than touch, than taste, than fragrance, smell, is the ability to hear. Because whatever you will hear has the ability to alter or affect what you believe.
Wow.
Let me share this with you. You would have seen many things in your life, okay? You would have seen many things in your life. And now tell me something that you saw and you remember so vivid. One, you might have smelt different food when you were cooking, or when you had food. Tell me, what do you remember now when you can recall something? You can't. You would have tasted different food, you would have touched different textures, things, but you will not remember. But tell me something that your mom told you that hurt you. Bulb on. You will have
Super.
one come up. Tell me something that your aunt said that hurt you. Tung. You will come with the exact phrase, and you will feel the exact thing all over your body. This is what my husband said. This is what my wife said. Okay? And some people break and fall and they never rise again because they lose that curiosity. They take that as the statement true and live but some have some curiosity to overcome that and make that their inspiration. Let me prove them wrong. That's not what I am. Okay? So, what you hear is so very important. And it is always important to hear the right thing.
Mm.
I don't pay attention to everybody who speaks. I don't. I don't respond to many people with whatever I will hear. There is no contention here because you are a creative being. Because whatever you are hearing is the opinion of other people, the suggestion of other people, but that's not making you. The more you hear something, the more you allow your ideologies to be formed, your beliefs to be formed. And I always ask this question: who are you listening to? And the second, who's listening to you? Because whoever you talk to, you are affecting what they believe.
100%.
You are affecting their faith. And you will always come across people who are complainers. Huh? Complainers will always complain. Haters will always hate. Inspirers will always inspire. Lovers will always love. It is about how you choose. It's your choice. This is where the power of the will comes in. Every man has a will. You can choose. You choose what to eat, don't you?
Yes.
If something else is served, you say, I don't want this. I don't feel like eating this. You choose what you want to wear. Even children do that. They choose the color, they choose the kind of material, and everything is grounded. You don't eat for your body, do you? We think we eat for our body. No, no, no. You say, my body wants to eat salad. No, I feel like eating something, don't you? I
Mm.
feel like eating chocolates. I feel like having an ice cream. I feel like eating biryani. Your body is not asking you anything. Your feeling is asking you something.
Absolutely.
True, right? And when you eat something that you're not supposed to eat, your ideology kicks in to justify it. So you hear or look up to somebody who will give you a nod to say, okay, it's okay to eat, it's okay. Once in a way you eat it, you know? Don't you think this is good for health? You just look for validation. Why? Because deep within you, your ideology says, no, 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 no. Okay, our ideologies can be right, can be wrong. But we put it out to validate. Okay, so what is very important, because ideas and ideologies are a larger subject. I teach just ideologies for 5 days. It's a 5-day retreat program. Okay, because you need to operate different senses in understanding this. But I'm just going to drop this one thing, which is the premier one, the most important one, is the ability to hear. Okay, whatever you will hear affects whatever you believe. Whatever you will believe will affect what you will think, how you will process your thought, and how it will affect your feeling. Okay, whatever you will believe will affect your values. Whatever you will believe will affect your actions. So the more you tell a child you can't do it, you'll never make it up in life. You're actually shaping the child's ideology. You're making the child more curious to see, oh, maybe, yes, because the person who's saying is a person of authority. Maybe it's true. But very, very few people radically bounce back. Yes, Maybe, I don't have that in me, but that's not true. I can break it. I can be free from that ideology that I hear. And that is where potential comes in. And that is why I say you don't have a potential. You are the potential. You have the power to bounce back. You have the power to be. My father wanted me to be an engineer. He spent a lot. He put me into different colleges. And I did electricals and electronics. Yes. Then I did acoustic engineering. But today I'm engineering people's lives. And that is engineering too.
Yes, true.
Right? I'm engineering people's beliefs. I'm engineering people's life for greatness and goodness. Which means to say, each one of you will have a story. My father's ideology was it's nice if my son becomes an engineer. I did,
You are.
but I'm doing something else. Deepa will have a different story. She's about to share something. Go on, Deepa. Share something.
No, Dr.
What
Sam, I
was your
mentioned
father's ideology about your education? Let's hear it. Go for it.
my dad wanted me to be a doctor,
Look at that.
and then I lost my medicine by 1 mark,
Oh,
and I wanted to go to, and then I got it in Va- Vada or Varda or something, Nagpur. So, but then my parents didn't want me to go out of Mumbai. And as luck would have it, the same kids in Varda, after 3 months, were shifted back to GMC in Bombay.
Hmm.
So, what happened is, since I didn't get into medicine, I then moved on to pharmacy, which was the college bang outside my house.
Lovely.
Yeah. So it was anyway. It was a different story altogether. But what I think is, Dr. Sam, you are still an engineer. At least you have brought forward your dad's truth that you are an engineer and you have engineering lives, which, as you just mentioned. So it's just engineering in a different context.
Very true. If you
Yeah.
have to have a chat with my father, he will say, okay, Sam, why don't you still continue education? Why don't you learn something? Say, because this is how perceptions work. Okay. But ideally speaking, if you notice, every potential, okay, has a purpose behind it. A mango tree can only be a mango tree. With all science and technology, it can never bring forth a fruit of an apple. Can it? It just cannot. Because the potential of a mango seed is to bring forth mangoes. Okay? The potential that you are is the potential of the divine. And watch, it is not about what you're educated with. That is
So
only your qualification. Okay? That is only a profession. People say, who are you? I'm a doctor. I'm an engineer. No! You are a potential. You are a creator. Why? Because potential is creation. Now, let me tell you this. Deepa, because you're sharing that, your father wanted you to be you wanted to be a doctor, but you picked on something else. But I will guarantee you that ultimately, when all these things take shape and shift, you will finally become a creator. You will only be into a creative space. I will give it to you by writing. Although you teach children, and see, look at that. Even children, it's about creativity. Your life will revolve only about creativity. Because why? It's about potential, the
it's
creator working from within. That helps us make some dollars, in the progress. That helps us make some money. Yeah. Because we sell creativity sometimes. We become inventors. There are teachers. Every profession carries creativity, because That is the core of potential. That is why there is no end for any creation. 10 years ago, nobody thought about an artificial intelligence operating at a level it's operating right now. But it is only marking a beginning. 30 years ago, nobody realized about or 20 years ago, nobody realized about a phone. See, I remember using a dial up, not a dial up internet connection. But before this dial up
Nice.
internet connection, there was a
Nice.
phone where you
Yes.
dial.
An STD.
Okay. Yeah. From starting from 0 to 9. And I
Mm,
still remember that the phone number of my home was 145. That's all. Just three numbers.
wow.
Just three numbers. And I had fun calling different numbers. And when somebody picks the phone, I'll cut it because I had fun.
True.
Yeah, and I had been caned by my father for correction because I will call somebody and all. Okay, and those days you had something called a telephone exchange, where you call that place to verify who's called you. So who called you can be tracked. So Sam was tracked and he was also cracked. Okay, curiosity. All right. Now here's the key. Here is the beauty about life. Okay, so now I understood how things are working. Correct. There were times you even have to book a trunk call or something like that. I don't know how many of you
Yes.
remember because yeah, this generation will not even know that. But now everything is just right within the palm. Everything we could see face to face and speak. 20 years ago, this was a dream, but it was actually information of an idea because of a curiosity that formed into a creativity. And that is what we see now. And we see all the AI tools, everything is a form of creativity, creation, which means to say we are ever flowing, overflowing of the divine potential until we breathe the lust. The most wealthiest place on planet Earth is not the gold mines, is not the diamond mines, is actually a graveyard
I get it.
because there is buried great ideas,
Yes.
Mm,
great inventions that were not seen to the outer world, great paintings that was never drawn,
True.
great things. So now if you're alive and active, realize you are the potential. You are the potential and you have something to do. Don't look, what is my potential? What do I get? No, 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 no. You are the potential. It's like, you put the lights on and then you search for where darkness is. The darkness can be there in the room. But the moment you turn on the light, there is light. There is no darkness, right? Where there is light, there is no darkness. Where there is potential, there is all possibility. All possibility. Somebody wants to be a doctor is now actually raising potential. She's actually treating young children to look up for their dream. I like what she said. She said, engage and empower or transform children. What is that you shared, Deepa? What was your uh, mission? What is that you shared?
Oh, I'm
Ishan.
on a mission to make study or learning easy, engaging, and enjoyable for children so that they fall in love with learning.
I love that. Easy, engaging, and enjoyable. Because that's a journey. Easy, engaging, and enjoyable. I love that. Because that is where curiosity lies.
Yeah.
Because any
And
learning has to be easy.
easy because I think there was a study conducted by NASA, where
Hmm?
NASA wanted to know the doctor Gary, I guess I don't remember his name. He did a test on NASA, the scientists, to check what is their creativity, and of course they all passed the test. And then he wanted to know that where does this creativity stem from. So
Hmm.
then he took in 4-year-old children, about 1,600 of them, and he gave them this test. And he realized that he was quite shocked to find that these children had 98% of creativity. There were
Hmm.
98% of genius intelligence available down there. Then he wanted to know that is this just one off? So they decided to keep it a little, stretch the research for another 5 years. So the same kids gave another test after 5 years, and he was shocked to see that the percentage moved down to about 30%.
Hmm.
And then he again gave the same test when the kids were about 15 years,
Hmm.
and the same kids when they were 25. And it was very shocking to see it fell from 98 to 30 to 12. And by the time they were 25, they just had 5% of creativity left. So, so I just realized that the entire process of school, while you're learning for grades, your creativity is going down, because there is
Absolutely.
no, so it's very, we need to maintain that, retain that creativity status of the children, if we want them, if we want to empower them into greater things, if we want to empower them into innovations, if we want to empower our economy. So that retention is important, you know.
What you're saying is so right. And, this is something that I always teach is this: potential is about creativity. Potential. Okay. And we continue to create. We are, there's a different system of learning because over a period of time, potential is turned into a product. Every education system converts potential and makes it a product. Now they're bound to do something, which means they do not continue to create something. And that is exactly why creativity is lost. Where potential equals creativity. And in that space of creativity, there is no comparison. In the space of creativity, you're designed to create, not to compare, not to
Correct.
compete, not to conflict, not to complain, but create. And it's
True.
beautiful. Yeah, we are not here to be a product. We are here because we are a potential. And each one of our listeners, who are listening to this, share your thoughts, share your questions, okay? Because it's all about potential. If somebody says you can't do something, let me tell you and hear this over and over again that you are the potential. And if you could believe, all things are possible. And that is why what you hear is important, because faith comes by hearing. What you believe can always be altered by what you will listen. Listen to the right thing and shape your belief and work your life to all possible potential for who you are. Isn't that incredible? I love this, man.
Beautiful. Yes, yes,
Absolutely.
absolutely, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely.
So, as we wrap it out, just share your thoughts and, I pass it on to Divya and she'll take it on from here.
Thank you so much, Sam. I mean, I think so many incredible things that you shared, which I think made each of us think about uh, what's happening to the potential in us, what are we doing to the potential in others, or the potential that the others are by the words that we use, by our attitudes and the way we express ourselves. And very interesting research shared by Deepa about how so much of potential goes unexpressed, and so suppressed that it never sees the light of day. And like you said, that it all of maximum potential is in the graveyard, which is actually pretty tragic when you think about it, right? And what really stuck with me was what you said, that we need to hear over and over again. And you know what is the thought that I had? That this is a video that all of us should be listening to again and again, about what Dr. Sam shared about our potential. You know, each of us need to hear this again and again. So thank you so much, Sam, for what you shared. That's
Thank you.
truly incredible.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah. So I think we'll just take some thoughts from Ritu and from Deepa, and we will conclude the session
Yeah,
if we are ready to do
definitely.
that, Dr. Sam.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Yes.
So actually, that remind me of one of the incident like 2 years ago in my life. Life was completely different. Definitely, I was also completely different. But when Sam shared about the effect of listening to the things, that hearing of the things, and somehow I really cracked the code, and I started to listen to the things that I really wanted to become like. It was the time that I was listening to best of the best trainings and coaching programs from all over the world, day in day night. Sometimes it's more than 18 hours per day, 22 hours per day kind of thing. So constantly listening to that thoughts until I felt that whatever but whatever was not actually helping me or stopping me, that was uh, replaced by the things that I really wanted to become like. And what I experienced was that's truly truly amazing, that I can say that 13 years or maybe 15 years of growth in only 1.5 years. So that's the product of that's the power of what Dr. Sam shared about. And I really, I was just remembering those incident, and how it really impact. Sometimes when, let's say the example, and already Dr. Sam shared the example, that if you tell your child that you are dumb, and you are just keep on repeating them, whether it's about child or it's about us, whenever we are hearing the same thing again and again, after a few times, that will create a doubt inside us that okay, maybe this is right. And that's how it affects the self-esteem. So choose wisely what you listen to with all the things, because that's the input. And protecting that energy is, I think, that should be the first priority. Yeah, thank you so much for
Thank you. Thank you
asking
so
that
much,
question.
Rutu.
Thank you.
And a few last thoughts from Deepa as well.
Yeah, taking it from Dr. Sam, I mean, it was such a eye opener that here's the biggest sense, which is important. Listening makes all the difference, because that is what, in fact, it also showed in one of these children's psychology. You know, to them, being heard is being loved. you know
Mm,
so the whole
Yeah.
concept was that a child is not being heard at all. A child is so excited throughout the day, and when the parents come home, he wants to share his stories, his achievements, his game, whatever. And parents are so tired and stressed out, they shoo him off. And now, with the mobile and other technology further, children are not being heard. And this can further cause issues where they feel that they're not being loved. So the entire
absolutely.
context is different, because to us, if a child is not being just heard for 2 minutes, whereas the child takes it upon itself that I'm not being loved or I'm not being worthy of it.
Mhm.
So it's very important that parents give that sort of time to the child and spend half a day, half an hour, or at least 15 minutes with the child, and encourage them, and listen to their stories and respect them, because ultimately to them,
Absolutely.
all such a simple thing, all to them they want is being heard, is being loved. They don't expect much out of us. So here being the biggest sense is an awesome thing.
I love it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Beautiful.
Let me add one thing right here, and it's beautiful, that potential deserves respect. I repeat this again: potential needs to be respected. Wherever it is, it can be a small child, can be young or old. Why? because you are the potential, and potential is divine. So when you find any potential in any person, acknowledge it, appreciate it. If there is nobody to do that, do it yourself, because you are the potential. There is none just like you. There is none. There's only one you. Celebrate it. Lots of love to you. It is such a joy to be with each one of you today.
Same
Yeah,
here.
thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thanks a lot. It was such a pleasure.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you
Yeah,
so
it
much,
was.
Dr. Sam.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was so amazing to hear from Deepa. Thank you so much, Deepa, for
Yes,
sharing all your
absolutely.
valuable.
Yeah. Thanks a
Really
lot,
loved
Neha,
it.
and Ritu also. Quite a lot of eye openers. Thanks, Dr. Sam. It was a pleasure.
Thank you. It is such a
Thank
joy.
you.
Sure. Thank
Have a
you.
good day today.
Yeah. Thank you, everybody. Do leave your comments. And, we will be looking at the comments and responding to the comments. And we'd love to know what your thoughts are, what ideas came to you, and leave your questions here because we'd love to respond to that as well. So thank you, everybody, and have a fabulous day. And we'll see you again next Sunday at 9:30 for the Destiny Chat. Bye for now.
Absolutely.
Wonderful.
Bye.